Hello, and welcome to Backer Breaks It Down. In this episode, we're still working with angles related to a circle, with a special focus on those angles whose vertex is inside of the circle, not at the center, because those would be central angles, and this episode is not about central angles. We're talking about other angles whose vertex is inside of the circle. Now, these two angles can be formed by two chords, okay? And so when you have an angle formed by two chords, we call it a chord-chord angle. I know, right? Great name. All right, the measure of a chord-chord angle is 1/2 the sum of the measures of the arcs intercepted by the chord-chord angle and its vertical angle. Because as you know, vertical angles, well, they are congruent. So this angle that they've denoted with the X is vertical to this angle here. So we want to use both of those arcs because how would you choose otherwise, right? So angle X creates arc AB. Its vertical angle creates arc CD. So those would be the two arcs that they mentioned. We should take the sum of. So for that particular diagram, we can say the measure of angle X is equal to 1/2 the sum of those two intercepted arcs. And once again, if you don't like working with fractions, simply multiply both sides by 2 and you'll get 2 times the angle equals the sum of the arcs. So whenever we want to find angles or arc measures in a circle, we ask ourselves, where is the vertex? And if the vertex is inside the circle, the measure of the angle is 1/2 the sum of the two arcs, or 2 times the angle is equal to the sum of the two arcs. So let's apply this relationship. In problem number 3, we want to find the measure of angle TUV, and here it is. Notice that the angle TVU is making the arc that's 175 degrees. Now, its vertical angle is FVS, and it's making the arc that's 53 degrees. So the measure of that inside angle, that chord-chord angle, is 1/2 the sum of the measures of the two arcs. So I'm just going to call it question mark, right? Okay, the measure of angle question mark is equal to 1/2 the sum of the two arcs. So 53 plus 175, I'm going to take 1/2 the sum of that. And so the sum of that, let's see, 822. Okay, that's right. 1/2 of 228 is 114, and that would be the measure of TVU. Now, if you have a vertex on the inside problem and algebra, I think it's a lot better to use the rule that says 2 times the angle is equal to the sum of the two arcs. So I'll just call that the arc sum. I think that's a lot better for problems involving algebra like number 4 is. So I would go 2 times my angle of 124 is equal to the arc sum of 9x minus 3 plus 197. So I've already done this, okay? And so apparently I use the angle as 1/2 the sum, but then you can see me multiplying by 2 so I can get rid of that 1/2. So 2 times 124 is where I'm getting 248. 9x minus 3 plus 197 would be 9x plus 194. I'm solving a really simple algebra equation here. I get that x is 6, and that is what they wanted me to find. So where is the vertex? It's inside the circle, not at the center. And so when that happens, then the measure of each angle, well, the measure of the angle formed is 1/2 the sum of the two intercepted arcs. And that's how Backer breaks it down.